So we've been bombarded with a lot of, analysis about the Kenya versus Iran fiasco, why the president cancelled his trip to Kenya. Nobody knows why we are being dragged into perhaps taking an ideological positions in the geopolitical happenings around the world. Kenya ideally should be a neutral country. We should not be towing any particular line because the world is an open place. We can see the realignment. We can see the tectonic shifts in the global sphere. So who are we to restrict our thinking into one ideology, into one part of the divide? We should be embracing everyone because, like, you've seen BRICS and you've seen the sheer numbers, the GDP combined of BRICS countries. You've seen how many other countries want to join BRICS, including the heavyweights, Saudi Arabia, Iran. Those are big oil producers. Those are people with technology. I don't know whether you guys have seen a video of kamikaze drones, the way they've been in operation in Ukraine. They've demolished all the Western donated equipment. And they, when they were building those drones, they caught American drones which were spying in their territory, and then they cloned the technology and then perfected it and made it even more better. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. So I don't understand why there are sections within the government who are taking us. I mean, didn't we just host the foreign minister of Russia, Lavrov, the other day? Lavrov, there was a donation which was given of, I don't know whether it's grains by Russia. I don't know whether it's because Iran has not given a donation. That's why they are not coming. Guys, our government guys are very hungry, extremely hungry, because all those donations which were, even Ukraine has donated a ship full of grain. None of those has gotten into the market to help stabilize the prices. All of them are being hoarded to be sold at some point in time to raise money, So we are in a crazy government. I don't think there is, even the people who think that we are going to benefit. No, we should be an open country. I don't think our foreign relations should be dictated by any power. I don't think this one comes, you listen to them. That's how it should be. And we don't want to put our citizens in various places at risk. I'll give you a story. In 2008, I used to work as a media officer for the national team. And so, because I'd started networking a long time ago from my football website, I'd met these guys and, they were interested, they were agents, and they used to work with Iran. And so I proposed a friendly match for Kenya to play versus Iran in Tehran. And Bob Munro, by then, who was calling shots in Kenyan football, then blocked that friendly. And then he was writing some crazy emails that Kenya cannot play versus Iran. I don't know, we are allies with Israel, with UK. And I'm like, yo, bro, what nonsense are you writing to us? First of all, you're not even a fucking Kenyan. You're a fucking Canadian. Those issues that you're raising don't apply to us. We are a neutral country. Secondly, football transcends all those boundaries. Football, even if there was a match between Palestine and Israel, football will transcend all those ideological, religious divides that have been created, man-made. I call them man-made because we are all members of the human race, away from our passports and all these other ideologies that we are conforming to. And so he blocked that friendly. And ever since, me, I've been a critic of Bob Munro. I'm like, yo, deport this bastard back to Canada. Why is he here? How do you block a match that was going to benefit our country? Yeah, by then, the coach of the national team was Francis Kimanzi. He was a guy from Mathare United, an arrogant asshole. Never, the small fame got to his head. So he was told, never do a match with Francis. And him being a stupid idiot, just follow. These guys from the ghetto, they don't think too much. So 2009, we tried again. And what we did is, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the then president of Iran, had a state visit to Kenya. And he came, he was meeting Kibaki. And during that period, I wrote a letter and I did a proposal for the Ministry of Sports. in Iran and the federation, and they approved the friendly, and Kenya went to play the match at the time. I didn't travel because I was blocked. There's this journalist, what's his name? It's called Michael Kinyi. Michael Kinyi was always meddling with my work, always meddling. But then he was very close with that guy called Mohammed Hatmi, the guy who died. He was an MCA in Mombasa. He was one of those Joho groupies. And he just used to meddle with my work. You see, the problem with journalists, and they are the cause of the downfall in Kenya, downfall of sports in Kenya. The journalists and the editors want to be part of the football business, and so all the time they are going to be meddling with the federation presidents and with the sports ministers. Like Ababu Namwamba hosted the sports editors the other day. Why? It's not that they are bringing any value. It's because they're going to turn a blind eye on when he's stealing money. So it's an unholy alliance between Getheri Media and the powers that be as relating to sports, be it the federation and the ministry. And that's why they are always co-opted in all these committees, WRC committee, IWF committee, I don't know what committee, the caretaker committee of Harambee Stars, so that they can turn a blind eye. So they are co-opted in the gravy train. You steal money, I'll allow you to steal some little money in the form of allowances and whatever, and you turn a blind eye, so you'll never cover anything. And because in Kenya, everyone just goes, once you're in power, you go for the headlines. You're there for the headlines because you've been told if you get good headlines, there's job security. If you're a minister, if you're a federation boss, so they're just going for the headlines. They don't care about the sport, the sportsmen and women. And these journalists now are co-conspirators in the collapse of football in Kenya. So I didn't travel, but you know, the match happened. I'm there for the game. I'm there for the game. Though I don't work, I don't do anything in Kenya anymore. Doing business in Kenya is just shite. Everyone is just so jealous. The people who have nothing to offer are the ones who are listened to by the establishment, by the politicians, by the federation officials, the ones who have nothing to offer. Mostly being journalists, because at least journalists bring headlines. So back to our geopolitical debate. There was something that happened. Some was it last year or last year part one? President Ruto traveled to England as a deputy president at the time, and there are these Russian pranksters. I don't know whether you know them. They are called Vovan and Lexus. They've pranked everybody in the world, man. These guys are hilarious. But most of their content was removed from YouTube. But then there was one specific one which nobody noticed about it in Kenya. I told you guys follow and listen to the media. Me, I'm always on the internet just educating myself. So listen to this one where they were pranking Priti Patel. Priti Patel is that toxic former MP and minister who was Home Secretary, if you remember. Once she was made to resign, she was forced to resign because of having secret meetings with the Israeli officials against government knowledge in 2017. And she was resigned as she was leaving Kenya. Now here she was meeting President Ruto. That meeting wasn't announced publicly, but listen to what these pranksters had her say in public.
The other point to note, Prime Minister, is that interestingly enough, there are other members of Interpol who feel very strongly, and they're not all EU countries. Kenya is a big ally and a big supporter and a big voice. And in fact, Vice President Ruto was in London last week from Kenya, and this is exactly the point that was being made to him, and they are very pro and supportive. We need to work with the United Arab Emirates. General Al-Rashi was elected to Interpol, and of course the United Kingdom supported his election. So we have not finished. We have absolutely not finished on this. We really have not. And there have to be intensive efforts, I think, collectively on this. And that is a commitment.
So they were pretending that, they are the Ukraine foreign minister or prime minister, and then they had her say that on public. So I hope this is not the reason why that presidential visit has been cancelled. I had an opportunity to travel to Iran in 2015. We had a meeting with the FA president. By then, he was called Ali Kafashian. We were doing some presentations. In fact, I met the current Harambee Stars coach in Tehran at the time. So and it was so amazing. Like I went there with the Kenyan passport. They, oh, you're Kenyan, just pass. And then Americans and British are being forced to line up the way we line up in their embassies. It was amazing to see. So I hope we can be neutral. We can be neutral.